we have a tradition with PEC events of gathering large numbers of people and then having severe weather. And what we like to say is that we bring the blessed rain, right? So to all the farmers and gardeners who I know are in the room, you're welcome. And hopefully the moisture will help the seeds of ideas that are going to be planted today to rise up and prosper and propagate. That's the whole idea. I hope you leave today full of new ideas and ready to take the next step. We're going to bring Chuck Ockrey up on stage to give you an official welcome.
So on behalf of my family and my children, Tom and his wife Erica and their daughter Beatrice, we all welcome you here to Eldon Farms. Thank you.
And the purpose of the annual meeting is for us to, at PEC, update you as to what's been going on at PEC over the last year as it relates to our mission of protecting and restoring the land and waters of the Piedmont while building stronger and more sustainable communities. Today, you'll see and learn how the Ockrey and their team of experts and partners are working to create a really unique conservation working landscape across nearly 7,000 acres here at Eldon Farms.
So we wanted to take a moment to say sincere thanks to the Ockreys. I hope the family will come up and join Chuck on stage. And thanks, we wanted to give you a picture of the farm that Hugh Kenny shot. And it is the Conservation Award from PEC for 2025 to the Ockrey family. We want to thank you. This is a great picture because this is the sort of symbolic of how we work together. People on the ground talking about options, thinking about what's possible, and really thinking about a bigger scale and a bigger future. Here's the problem. We are living in a world that's very chaotic right now. Things are changing. And the forces of change are right here too. So, we're in this time of redebating the principles. We're redebating the Constitution, which is extraordinary. Hard for me, I'm trained as a lawyer, and the idea that we're redebating what the Constitution says is terrifying. Because your whole system of organization and thought and the way we resolve differences and the way we find common ground, it's all shifting under our feet. So these are tough times. And it's not just in our politics, it's in our economy, in the way that we organize ourselves, not just at the local level, but at the global level. And that global force around information technology and artificial intelligence is actually centered in the Virginia Piedmont, centered in Loudoun County. So we've got two globally significant things going on. A globally significant conservation effort and a globally significant set of changes. We are working on all of that conflict all the time because that's our mission. We were created as an organization, and it's in our founding documents, it's in our history, to navigate change. The folks who started PEC were smart. They knew that after World War II, things were changing in Northern Virginia and Virginia. And they wanted to have an active role in trying to shape that, trying to make it better than it would otherwise be. So that's how we sort of approach everything. We want to engage, we want to empower, we want to educate so that people are better able to navigate what's coming. And I think you'll hear over the course of today some of our ideas about what those changes look like and how we can respond. And when you leave today, this special place, Thomas is ready to describe. Take a different way home. We have the most incredible network of unpaved and rural roads anywhere in America because the land on either side is protected. There's thousands of miles of rights of way through this beautiful conserved landscape. You should go home and enjoy it, go home a different way. Hopefully it'll look like that for part of the drive. And that will be something that you will appreciate. You will bring with you the hope that only Thomas can provide. He has a great resume. My notes are underneath. He doesn't really need a huge introduction. He is the most qualified landscape architect to do public and private conservation in the world. So Thomas, we're so grateful you're here. Thank you for your genius and leadership.
We are in a dark moment, but we are together. The sun has just broken on cue to underscore the hope that we share. As I was thinking of putting together remarks today, I was first quite moved that the Piedmont Environmental Council would ask me to speak at the annual meeting. This means the world to me because I came to the Piedmont of Virginia at 17 years old to study at the University of Virginia, and I'm still here at 57 and loving every minute of it. I grew up on a working farm though, a 500-acre cattle and tobacco farm in the foothills of the Blue Ridge of North Carolina, in Mount Airy, North Carolina. And I saw as a child what you do with land has generations of significance. If you abuse it, you are passing on abuse. If you tend it, you are passing on the health of our land to future generations. So land management was something in my bones. When I discovered landscape architecture and the incredible teaching of Warren Bird, who asked me to work with him upon graduation, I realized this was absolutely what I wanted to spend the rest of my life doing. What we do at Nelson Bird Woltz that is relevant to this audience is we call it the Conservation Agriculture Studio. This is where we work with small and large landowners to transform the land into the highest and best stewardship of its natural resources. But we have a particular interest in its ongoing health as agricultural land, engaged in regenerative practices. There are plenty of places that do pure wilderness conservation, and there are lots of farms, as we know. Our goal is to take this giant middle and interweave sustainable agriculture with best practices for ecological regeneration. There's another component that I want to make very clear today because it is too often lost, and that is the power of the cultural landscape. The cultural landscape I would define as the trace of the human species in dialogue with land. It's the memory that is beneath our feet. In every piece of land, there is a story. And our civilization has done a very good job of erasing that story when it was painful, when it was inconvenient. And I think it behooves us as conservationists to care deeply about the history that's inside of land. I've said this many times when fighting against architects or developers or people who say, it's green space, it's empty land, it's vacant land, tabula rasa, do whatever you want, there's nothing here. And my response is a cautionary one. The land is full. It is already full of ecological and cultural history, and it behooves us to know that before we act. So I continue to get a little choked up every time I think about the scale of this mission. First, I wanted to describe the mission. We did lots of conversations with the full family, starting to talk about this sort of ring diagram. I find rings more interesting than bar graphs because you see the continuity, but you also see the relationship between them. So you're seeing agriculture, ecology, and community in a continuum around a mission of Eldon Farms aspires to demonstrate a highly successful working landscape for the Piedmont region. James made this incredible point, which is relevant here, because I said, I'm not public parks, yet we're dealing with a lot of private landowners. He said, the future of biodiversity preservation lies with private landowners. That is this audience. 81 to 100% of the best soils in our nation are in private hands. So these are the regions that are urgent. So private land ownership is essential. And this is what James brought to us, a whole new way of working. The design framework that emerged was looking at the northern portion of the property, and this site right here, as the most porous and the most community service. So that Clover Hill is being re-envisioned as a community center for events exactly like this. We are living in a master plan already. The central portion, keeping farm operations that might be open for visits or seminars, but not open to the public for safety and getting your work done. And then the lowest portion, this grindstone property, has extremely high ecological value and envisioning a future biological research station for conservation that could serve the region. So this is an idea about, these are all potential ideas. This is what this is, a suite of ideas. But looking at a possible ecological institute in the south. Some of the program nodes, starting at the very north, you see Pendruid, and imagining a path. There would be a community connector, we call it. There would be a path through Eldon that comes to Clover Hill. So that you could see this Clover Hill with the restored historic structure, event spaces, exhibition spaces. Hill House Nursery is moving to Clover Hill, public trails, agriculture and ecology demonstrations, and this would be the home base for an ecological institute until it hits its sea legs, and then it could move to the south in a future phase. So in a way, Clover Hill serves as a microcosm of the whole 7,000 acres. By coming here, you have the opportunity to connect with this landscape and learn about its potential. And then the farthest south, the Ecological Institute with a lab and office space, research housing, kitchen, conference, campsites, and semi-public trails that might be for ecological research. So you see a gradation of most public to less public for rational reasons. So this idea of the community connector trail coming down number 2, and then bringing people to Clover Hill. So you can imagine a day of parking at Pendruid, walking all the way down, coming to Clover Hill, having a plant sale, activities like this, and walking back. Makes for a wonderful day of adventure. This project and this day has given me hope, and I wish for all of you success in the incredibly important work each of you is doing, and I am grateful for what you do. Thank you for having me today.